15 penalties for 115. I thought the call there on Kendrick Law, unsportsmanlike conduct in the final, whatever it was, few minutes of the game. It takes a 4th and 6 or 4th and 7 and makes it a 4th and 22. I mean, this is not the time now. Either player really, because it was a little closer. They picked, but you just can't be involved where they're going to pick a side. I cannot imagine Nick Saban on that penalty. Kendrick Law should be quite happy that Nick Saban is not the coach at Alabama right now. You do that penalty. But I think the meltdown of Alabama fan, I really want to talk about Tennessee quickly because this was an incredible victory and another just great night for that program. But, misery is always fun to talk about. And you guys will enjoy. I mean, Tennessee fans can enjoy Alabama misery. I mean, it's just and it's like this is the problem with following a legend is the lore. Like no Alabama player ever committed a penalty in Nick Saban's years, right? I think there was like one false start in like 2018. I think that was it. It's only penalty. It's an amazing stat. Like no one ever lost their head. No one ever. But undisciplined, self-defeating. What is the offense at this point? Jalen Milroe. We were picking this game last week, and we were all sitting there going, I don't know. Dead heat, dead even, right? I don't want neither of us wanted to pick. And my thing was, you know what? Late in the game, I think Jalen Milroe will put together a drive. He had like 3 chances. He didn't go anywhere. What this offense is supposed to be better with Kalen DeBoer. Jalen Milroe is going to be unleashed. They're unleashed. It was terrible. The only thing saving Alabama when you watched them was the Tennessee offense wasn't much better. And credit to the Tennessee defense. It is excellent. Like, it is elite. They've got a lot of good football players, but it wasn't like they're driving down and there's a goal line stand. Alabama's just standing around. Like, somebody make a play to try to win this football game, and nobody is. Instead, they're doing the wrong thing. And Cardiac Kalen, right? These games are going to be wild at the end. Well, you cannot have wild at the end in this. It's just got to be Paul.
Oh, boy. Oh, yeah, the Fun Show would be something special this week, I'm sure.
Again, I mean, losing to Vandy is the ultimate. But when you follow that up with a shaky win against South Carolina and then this loss, they have not played. They played 14 straight shaky quarters. The last 2 against Georgia and every quarter since then. And you're right, Dan. There is definitely some revisionist history and some gilding of the lily. I remember talking on this very podcast, and I just looked it up. In 2021, Alabama was 12th out of 14 teams in the SEC in penalty yardage. In 2022, they were 13th out of 14. Last year, they got better, but this year they're back down there and they're 15th out of 16. So there were a couple of years there where Alabama had issues with penalties, but the complete lack of composure to get the personal foul here and the one at the end of the Vanderbilt game, that was more just a temper tantrum. That game was over. But still, those are the kind of things where Saban puts a foot down and it doesn't happen, So that's the difference there. And I think you're going to have to indulge me for a minute here. This is a first-person high school story, so it's not exactly apples to apples.
Pull up a chair.
Grandpa's got a story.
Grandpa Forde here.
You have one of them leather helmets Illinois wore the other day?
That's right. Yes, we did. We didn't wear helmets, actually. It was so long ago. No. But no, my high school coach was Gary Barnett, who went on to fame and fortune, taking Northwestern to the Rose Bowl and Colorado to the Fiesta Bowl. And so we were extremely well coached in high school. It was Colorado Springs, Colorado. Like, we had elite coaching. That's why we won games. We were just better coached than everybody else. He left to go start his college career before my senior year. New coach comes in. He's a very accomplished coach. Knew what he was doing. We kind of bought in. We started off well, won our first game. We're like ranked second in the state, and then we start losing. And it just went apart. They're like, yeah, I'm not sure about this guy's play calling. Why do we do that in practice? And this, we thought we were bought in and we weren't bought in. New guy replacing a legend, and it didn't work. And I kind of get the feeling this might be the case here, where they're, DeBoer, he's good, but why are we doing it this way? Why aren't we doing it that way? Nick would never let us do that. I just wonder if there's a little bit of splinter there from people that mean to try to do their best for each other, but it's just not happening.
It's really going to be interesting, and probably doesn't help Alabama and Kalen DeBoer at all, is that Nick Saban every Saturday is the focal point in the morning to start and kick off college football. And he's going to have to talk, and he has talked in the past, but he's definitely going to have to talk now about why the program is where it is, having lost 2 games in its first 7 for the first time since his first year in 2007. And that's going to be really interesting. He's had to walk kind of a line, especially after the Vanderbilt loss, but now, right, coupled with this, it's going to be really fascinating to see what he says and how much he walks that line. He has, from what I could tell and have been told, he has stayed away. Nick Saban has mostly from the facility. He's not like he's walking the halls. He doesn't have an office right down the hall from Kalen. He's got an office across campus in the stadium. When he's there, he's on the road a lot, especially with game day. But it's really going to be fascinating to see what he says about all this, especially about the undisciplined late game penalties, things that would certainly eat at him if he were coach. So that's going to be really interesting to listen to him this coming week and see what he has to say.